Rise and shine, everyone. Jason Hackett and Alicia Lewis here with you on this Tuesday morning, this Veterans Day. We want to say thank you to everyone out there that has served for their service.
Yeah, we of course got all the events happening on our website. We'll be talking about them throughout the morning. But let's get to John for folks who do have plans this morning. Maybe bundle up, but it's going to be a pretty decent day.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit confusing again, especially with how you're dressing, especially the kiddos today, because this afternoon you might want to shed the layers. But this morning, while we're talking about warmth, the wind chills are still at 21, 24 in the Twin Cities, 19 in Brainerd. So it's a double-edged sword because, yeah, you want to warm up. Here comes that south wind. But while you are in the process of actually warming, you get that bite from the wind chill. So, again, maybe thicker coats, shed the layers this afternoon. It's going to feel rather warm. Next 12 hours, it's a cool start, right around freezing. Then take a look at this launch off from 9 o'clock to 1. You go from 35 to 46. I mean, temperatures are going to be flying. It is a warm day. Well above average today. Will be well into the 40s. Winds are going to be fairly strong. They'll shift a little from the southwest to the northwest at around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast coming up here next. Cece, good morning.
Good morning. Hope your day's off to a great start. Live look here in East Bethel. Good morning if you're waking up there in the north suburbs. This is Highway 65 and Viking Boulevard. Very quiet, but folks are getting out this morning. I do want to talk about a couple of things. We're seeing a project on Highway 610. That's going to start this morning, the only new morning project. And if we go down to the South Metro, there's also a project happening tonight on 35W northbound where you'll need to detour. So stick around for more info about that. Otherwise, if we zoom out to see the bigger picture, things are looking really great this morning. No crashes. I'll see you right after 6:15.
Cece, thank you. Well, breaking this morning, we're tracking new developments out of D.C. this morning as a bill to reopen the government is now heading to the House.
They'll take up the Senate bill passed just hours ago. Michelle Beck is at the live desk tracking that timeline and what exactly is in the bill. But first, let's get to Audrey Russo as the impact on flights are not letting up this morning, Audrey.
Yeah, not a lot of smiles here at the airport this morning, and looking at the departure board, it's easy to see why. More than 40 flights scheduled to be canceled here at MSP. You can see a chunk of 5 right there. This is a move from the FAA that's supposed to ease the burden on understaffed and burned out air traffic controllers. But the cuts are expected to get more severe as the week goes on. Take a look at this. Airlines reduced their schedules by 6% ahead of today. Starting Thursday, that's going to jump to 8%. And then on Friday, 10% of flights are scheduled to be canceled per the FAA. Now, the agency is letting airlines decide which flights to axe. And many airlines are choosing to keep their long-distance international flights, instead canceling trips on smaller regional carriers like American Eagle and Delta Connection. One passenger that I spoke to, though, and this is a little bit of a bright side, tells me that she's actually received very clear communication from her airline as to whether or not her flight was going to be canceled today.
Well, we usually get to the airport at least 2 hours early anyway, and they said that that was still the time that they recommended. But Delta was really good about notifying us and said they'd already done the required FAA cancellations through Tuesday. So we knew Sunday that it wasn't going to be canceled.
Now, that passenger did tell me she's a little bit more concerned about her return flight on Friday, especially because these cancellations are the planned cancellations. There's still, of course, unplanned situations that could crop up and are cropping up. Now, when it comes to how these airlines are communicating with their passengers, I'll have a little bit more on that coming up in about 30 minutes. But for now, I'll send things back to you.
This weekend could get a little messy, and then we're only a few weeks away from Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
so we're going to see how things play out at the airports. Audrey, thank you.
Hoping they can figure it all out. But meanwhile, let's get to Michelle back at the live desk now with the latest out of Washington at this hour. What's going on?
Yeah, good morning, guys. The bill is now headed to the House, which could take it up as soon as tomorrow. So here's a look at where some of our representatives have stood. The time is now to reopen. That comes from House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. Congresswoman Angie Craig saying yesterday here in this video that healthcare costs are still a huge concern, so senators should walk back on the deal. But of course, as we know, the Senate moved forward to try to end the longest ever U.S. shutdown. A group of 8 Democrats broke from their party and joined all Republicans but one. The final approval came after hours of voting and debates, settling on a package that includes funding for SNAP benefits through next September and keeps much of the government running through the end of January. You'll notice the bill does not include what Democrats demanded the whole shutdown, which was to extend Obamacare subsidies.
Had the American people on our side, we should have continued that fight. I think the Republicans would have yielded.
The president's for it. If the president's for it, I think you get through the House. I think it's a good deal for the country.
And right there, as the South Carolina senator just suggested, President Trump is expected to sign the bill, and that is if it makes it past the House. Guys, still to come in 30 minutes, where the debate over health care costs will turn to next. Jason.
All right, Michelle Beck reporting from the live desk this morning. Thank you very much. In just a matter of hours, the U.S. Supreme Court will announce its decision on whether full SNAP payments should be on hold until the government reopens. Lower courts have ordered the government to keep the money flowing, but in a warning over the weekend, the USDA told states that are still sending out payments to stop immediately and take back the money they've sent. A group of attorneys general, including Minnesota's Keith Ellison, is now suing the federal government so states can keep sending out those payments.
This battle is happening at a time when food prices are up, when insurance premiums are going up, when rent is high, housing prices are high, and with a president who promised to lower costs.
According to the U of M, there are only 250 rural grocery stores across the state, and half are concerned about closing as sales slump. Back here at home, MVTA bus service is offering free rides to and from food pantries in the South Metro. Those rides are available through their rideshare app, MVTA Connect, with promo code MVTA to Pantry. The transit agency says each account is eligible for 4 rides through the 21st. You can go to their website to see if MVTA services your city.
Starting tomorrow, the Minneapolis Federation of Educators is expected to hold a ratification vote on a tentative deal with the school district. And this morning, we're learning more about what is in that agreement. So it covers 3 separate contracts for teachers, adult educators, and ESPs. And it includes smaller class sizes, more support for special education, and pay bumps in all 3 categories. For teachers, that includes a 2% raise this year and another 2% next year.
I am exhausted, and yet I'm invigorated by what we have seen in this building in the last week.
This day represents renewal, and this day represents a recommitment to our students and to our staff.
Again, the union is scheduled to vote on the contract tomorrow and Friday, and if it passes, the contracts head to the school board for final approval.
Time now 6:08, and it is Veterans Day. As we take time to honor those who served in the U.S. military, the nation is taking a step back. So here's a look at what's open and what's closed today. Government offices, post offices, and most banks will be closed. However, most UPS and FedEx services will be available. Most grocery stores will be open, as well as malls, restaurants, and retailers like Walmart and Target. Also, if it's trash day for you, Minneapolis and St. Paul say there will be no change in the schedule.
6:09, good Tuesday morning to you. If you're just waking up with us, take a look at this. This was a nice sight to see. I kind of liked it. It says the official opening start for the 2025 ski season at Trollhagen in my hometown, as people there hitting the slopes for the first time yesterday. This is crazy to think, like, if they pan the camera a little bit, you can still see grass.
You couldn't tell. It looks like fresh snow just fell over there.
Winter's here.
I'm so excited. If you haven't, Trollhagen's open till like 3 in the morning on Friday nights too.
Oh, that must
they
be a
do
party.
late night ski.
Oh,
It
my
is such a
goodness.
fun spot. Head out there. This is not a promotional ad for them. I just love them so much.